in other related news, something that I couldn't find online, but I found like as chatter in the industry. So the first thing is it's not something that people in the US or non-Germans might be caring about. But I've heard that one of the biggest stores that we have in Germany is completely closing down its business to the end of the year. Just Music in Berlin.
Yeah, but that's nothing new.
People saw it coming, but a few days ago it was actually confirmed that this is going to take place at the end of this month. They're not going to open their doors again in January. And to give a little bit of context to people who don't know Just Music or have never heard of them, they used to be actually a chain. So they had a store in Berlin, they had a store in Munich, they had a store in Hamburg, and they had a store in Düsseldorf at some point. And a few years ago, all of that didn't work anymore, and they shut down all the other stores except for the head store in Berlin. But apparently the whole thing is not profitable for them anymore, and they're shutting down, which goes a little bit into what we spoke about like 2 weeks ago. We see a lot of changes in the industry, and a few people are not doing well. Even some big people, like Just Music always was seen as a big player. Even some of the bigger guys are not doing so well. And now we have confirmation that sadly they're going away, and it's going to shake up things in Berlin. I think all the other stores in Berlin can kind of, catch up with the people and help prevent that people don't know where to go to in Berlin. But it's kind of a phenomenon, another phenomenon within the industry that it's on a decline a little bit.
When was the last time you were in the store in Berlin?
Shortly after they reopened, after the pandemic, because I had to go to Berlin to visit a few people, and I also visited Just Music. But I know that they had issues with staff fluctuation a lot. So people would work there and they would quit after 3 months because they had a different imagination about what it would be like to work in a guitar store or in a music store. And then so they always had to like hire new people, and then you have to train them, and then after 3 months they're gone and you have to train more people, etc., etc. So difficult, very, very difficult.
Very difficult. The whole store.
Do you guys think that this?
Please.
Yeah. Do you guys think that perhaps the old model of music stores is fading away, and it's making way for something that's new and different with a younger business? If you want, like, younger business model, because a lot of these businesses, like, I'm from Canada, right? So in Canada, we have music stores, mom and pop shops, and then we have one big franchise that's called Long and McQuaid's. And I've seen in small shops and at Long and McQuaid's quite a difference in the approach. So the small stores, it's usually run by a family. So eventually they close down because they're not modernizing. They're not catering to the needs of modern musicians. So they kind of go the way of the dodo bird. But then you see someone like Long and McQuaid, they're looking at Tillman, they're looking at Sweetwater, Guitar Center, and they're trying to stay with that model because that's what was working for, like, let's say the last 20 years. But now we're seeing more businesses where you can purchase directly from them. So let's say I want JPTR FX, I want FFX pedals. I can go directly to you guys and buy the pedals directly from you. I don't have to go through the mom and pop shop. I don't have to go through some of the bigger businesses because I may or may not find your products in their store. And you guys might be like super popular, but those guys, they're not serving that. So do you think that might be one of the effects of this?
You could just ask them to order at us.
Okay.
If you want to try our pedals in a store, you can just go to the counter and ask if they can order. and they hit us up with the email. We get a dealer discount, and then 2 weeks later, you have the pedal in the shop. That's how it works.
Okay.
And most shops don't care. And they also don't care if their guitars are not set up and not tuned and play horrible. And that's why some stores close and some stores, like family businesses, keep open for so long. And people think why it's not closed anymore or closed already because the times are so heavy. Because at some small shops, the people are very hearted in their work. So if you order or buy a guitar in their shop, they make sure that it's like set up well. You get new strings, maybe a strap with it or a bag if you are a beginner, and the other stores just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And I return to someone that is like taking care of me as a customer. And if I visit a shop, I might get a coffee or whatever, then I return my whole life. And most shops forget how to treat customers.
That I think you just hit the nail on the head there. I think that might be, because it's kind of how I see it. I see it like the bigger the company gets, the less in touch they are with their consumers. So if you take, like, I don't know, if you buy, I'm just going to name them, but I'm not picking on them. It's just more of an example. Let's say you buy a Gibson, right? You buy the Gibson, the store sets it up poorly, and they're treating that Gibson the same way as, let's say, an Epiphone. So you get there, the string action is this high, the intonation's not done, and you're like, this thing is $3,000? Fuck that. You put it back on the wall, you're like, this guitar is no good, right? But if you know how to set up a guitar, you might be like, okay, these guys didn't take the time to set it up. I can set it up at home. But for someone that's not in the know, they might grab the Gibson and an Epiphone. They might go, fuck that. I'm going to take the Epiphone because it plays better. To me, it was a better experience. But it all has to do with the care that the company puts into it. If they have too much gear coming in and they sell a lot, they might not take the time to set up their instrument properly.
Also, the experience of someone that is like setting up for guitars for 20 years is not the same as you do it at home.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, it's true, and it's something that we spoke about, like when we talked at length about the current state of the industry, where I said, you know, if you want your local store to be in business for the next, I don't know, X amount of years, then go there and buy the stuff there and don't ask for a discount. If you're nice to them and if you kind of establish a relationship with them as a permanent customer, like somebody who comes there at least once a month, maybe to buy, I don't know, strings, accessories, whatever, they are going to treat you differently anyways, and they are automatically give you this or the other advantage. You know, or maybe you get a guitar set up for free. Let's say after 1 year you want to set up your guitar and you want to, you know, intonation check up and everything, and they'll do that for free, because although there is something in place that's called guarantee, those things usually aren't free because they're like extra services. And I've seen that where you go into the store and they say, "Oh, I need to set this up," and if they have capacities in the moment, they're just going to take your guitar, said, "Hey, go drink a coffee. The coffee is on us. We'll do the setup, and you can take your guitar with you in 30 minutes." You know, that's the thing.
Or just ask someone that is not in the internet, "Hey, what overdrive pedal do you really think is good in a band mix?" And then the person who works there for 15 years can tell you, "Oh, I played everything and tried everything because I'm the owner of a guitar shop. And what really cuts is this or that. If you do this or that in music, it's experience, and experience is so much worth in times where everybody has an opinion in the internet, because not everyone has the experience to have an opinion."
Yeah. That's another fact too, is when you're talking to, let's say, your sales rep at a music store, you ask them, hey, to your point, Chris, what pedal sounds good? And the person's going to look at you. Okay, well, I need more details. What amp are you using? What guitar are you using? What other pedals are you using? In fact, go get your stuff. Come back at the store. I'll put you in that room over there. We're going to crank things up. You can test it out to your heart's content. That's the experience you get with a smaller shop. With a bigger shop, the guys don't have enough time. So a lot of times they're going to be like, well, our top seller is this one, so this is what I suggest. But they don't give you the opportunity to actually try it out and talk to them at length, because it might look stupid when you think about it. Maybe the pedal is just $99 and the person sells it to you for $99. But to you, if that person gave you more information, they made sure that you knew what you were buying. To you, it's worth more than $99, because next time you're going to go there, you might purchase something bigger. You might purchase something more expensive, and you might rely on them for future purchases.
The local guitar store here in Wilhelmshaven made me addicted to gear with like the age of 15. They ruined my whole life.